Welcome back to Strength Cycle. Today, we're going to talk about one big thing you can do and start doing now that will improve the quality of your workouts and make your time spent in the gym much more efficient. What we're talking about today is the building block of all training: weight training, barbell training. We're talking about reps, specifically talking about the rep itself. One rep. Now, the rep, since it's the fundamental building block of all weight training, if your reps are crap, your results are going to be crap. There's a concept out there popularized specifically by Mark Bell. I know he's talked about it in tons of his videos and at his gym. Christian Thibodeau, many others. The idea of first rep last. The idea that your last rep of your workout, of your sets, needs to be as good as your first rep, or as close to that first rep as possible. Personally, adopting this mindset has helped me tremendously, because what it does is it allows you to get more practice at the proper way to do the reps. It allows you to stimulate the most muscle possible for the exercise. It allows you to utilize that movement in the exact way that it's supposed to. And good form is strong form. So, and it teaches you, and it also teaches you to be successful. If you're always missing reps and doing terrible grinders, in addition to building up a lot of fatigue and wearing out the central nervous system by pushing it that far, you're also ingraining the idea that you're kind of practicing failure somewhat. And a lot of elite powerlifters, and elite Olympic weightlifters and others, they don't want to fail. And if you're always hitting your reps in training, always, you're just building confidence. You don't know what not hitting reps is like. So meet day comes along, all you know is success. All you know is hitting the reps, and this is just one more bit of weight, one more rep. You already know you've done 1,000 reps. This is just one more, or technically it's 9 more reps, 3 for each lift, but you get the point. You don't want to be practicing failure. You want to be practicing success. And that all begins with the reps. Doing each rep that you do, no matter how many you do, whether it's 5, whether it's 3, whether it's 10, whether it's 20, each rep needs to be a good rep, and you should strive to have it be as good as your first rep. Now, the big exercise that I see people completely butchering this concept with is the bench press. Bench press, more than any other exercise in the mainstream world, is an ego exercise. And because of this, a lot of people are obsessed with benching a lot. And what they fail to realize is that if they start utilizing these techniques I'm about to mention that allows them to cheat, they're not actually benching a lot. When you analyze the number of good, solid, complete reps they did on their own in, say, a week, a month, a year, you're looking at a very marginal number compared to someone who practices good, strong reps and has, over that time, over, say, a year, has done 1,000 good reps on their own, compared to one of these people utilizing these techniques I'm about to mention who has done not even 30 good reps. First off, with the bench press, 1, you need to work on your form as far as staying tight and not shaking around on the bench. The first thing I see everyone messing up on is they shimmy their feet around in between their reps on the bench press. Or in the middle of a rep, they'll let their feet kick up off the ground for some reason. Now, we don't need to get into all the reasons why this happens. That's not important. This is not a bench press tutorial. But if your feet aren't planted solidly, you don't have a solid base to exert force from. And everything else is going to suffer because you're not able to exert the maximum force that you are capable of because you don't have a solid base to push off from. That's the first thing with the bench press. The second is people have over-reliance on spotters. This is way more common than people with a crappy form, hand placement in the wrong place, bouncing it off their chest, not things like that. But the over-reliance on spotters is the big thing. A common thing in the gym. Somebody will ask me to spot them. They say they want 5 reps. They can barely get the first rep, and then I have to help tremendously with the next 4. And this is the first set of their whole workout. But even if this is the last set of the workout, this is not an optimal way to train. You're really short-circuiting your gains. And as you fatigue more, I'm having to lift more of that weight off of you to spot you, and you're doing less work. If you had just done your reps at a weight that you could handle for all the reps of all your sets, I always leave 1 or 2 in the tank on that last one, always. And there's lots of reasons to do so. But as we mentioned before, building, practicing success, you don't want to fatigue the nervous system. You want to ingrain good technique, all those things. So you're lifting way too heavy. If you can't do that, you're just cutting short your gains. You're making your time spent in the gym much less effective, and nobody wants to waste their time. Those are the 2 big things with the bench press that I see. Personally, I don't use spotted reps. I don't get them to help with the rep. If it pins me to the damn bench, I get them to lift it off of me before it kills me. But I have done that not even 5 times in 2016, and so far, including all of 2017. Every single time was on a test day to test out the results of my training, so I was maxing out, and that was the goal. That is fine. However, that's something we need to leave alone. Maxing out needs to be left alone for also for these reasons. But that's a whole nother video. But first rep last. If you have any doubts, if you've been getting stagnant if you haven't been getting good results with what you've been doing, this is number 1. Film yourself and look at the reps you're doing and compare it to what I've shown you in this video and see if you're making some of these mistakes. I know about these mistakes because I went through a period where I've made all these mistakes before. And it really, kept me from using my time in the gym as efficiently as possible. That's going to cut into your gains, and you don't want that. I mean, what are you working out for if you don't want some progress? But that's the takeaway here from this video, is do what you can to perfect your 1 rep, and then just do more perfect reps. I don't care if it's 5, 10, 20, 5 perfect reps. That means you got to use a little less weight, so be it. Over the long term, this will allow you to train more intensely, more consistently. It'll be better for you in the long run, and it'll cultivate a pattern of success and good form. That's it for this video. Stay tuned to Strength Cycle in the future. We're going to have all kinds of cool content for you this year. This is just the first of many great videos. I hope this was really helpful. If you have any questions, comments, leave them in the comments section, and I will get to it. And until then, stay tuned to Strength Cycle.